list to look at is Google Calendar. You're probably familiar with Google Calendars, so you can type in calendar for this product, so it's whatever the product name is, .google.com. So it's the same with everything else. You can also find this by clicking through your email. You can also find it here in the waffle, even though the images aren't loading. So you can see here in my calendar, there's lots of other calendars that I have access to, but I'm going to turn off a bunch of other calendars so that we don't see them all. So here's a week in October, and there's a lot of stuff on the calendar. I wanted to show you a couple of things, mostly things focused around creating new events on your calendar. So the first thing I'm going to do is click on here, and this is where I can add a title. I might call this GBE because I have to talk to my director about my GBE for this year. There's a couple of things I can do while I'm here. So I can add a guest, so I can add her in here. I can also set up a location for it. And this thing can be really nice. So if you, for instance, are working with another teacher at a different school and you want to meet to talk about something, but you know that it's going to be really hard for y'all to meet, you can do add conferencing. And so by clicking this, it creates an appointment link so that both of y'all or the group of whoever is involved with this work can click on this and everyone enters the same Hangout room. So that can be really helpful. I use the description a lot. I oftentimes will link documents or artifacts, things that we're working on at different times in here. So that's really helpful. It helps save time so that people don't have to hunt around through the drive to find things. So there are lots of options here just by clicking and adding in an appointment. What I can do, though, is click more options, and it gives me a couple of other things that are really, really helpful. If you need something to be all day, this is where you would click that. The other thing that I do in here that a lot of people don't use is this find a time. We're just going to add Lacey to this, but if I click find a time, it'll show me what my day looks like and what her day looks like on specific days. So that way I can go through and find a time that works for both of us. This Thursday on Halloween, we both have time available. So I could say, okay, from 11 to 12, we both have an hour that we can meet. So this will be a good time for us. So it's nice because we don't have to go back and forth, or I don't have to like hunt my calendar and then hunt through her calendar. So this can be a really good thing. It works only with people who have shared their calendars with you. So if you're trying to make an appointment with someone and they haven't shared their calendar with you, you might ask them to do that. Another thing you can do is add rooms. So if you're having a sort of larger meeting and need to have a space for it, you can search through a lot of different rooms. I think it's pretty much most rooms in the district and assign those to your event. So I'm going to click back to the event details. You can see there's a lot of other things. There's the notifications. One thing people might not know is that if I set notifications on this, it doesn't show up on the other people's invitations. So this is only just for me. You can't compel other people to have notifications, which I guess is really good. I wouldn't want people notifying me about things. When I'm finished, I would click save right here, and that creates a regular appointment. That's just a traditional appointment, something that we've had in calendar apps for a long time. So a couple of things that I like that are a bit newer. The first one is this out of office. I'm a big fan of this. So if I type in what I'm doing, so let's say I'm going to Columbia this day, and I set that I'll be in Columbia all day long for this day, you'll see that there's this option that's already checked that's automatically decline new and existing meetings. So I can add a message that I can make it say whatever I want. So I'm going to tell people why it is that their invitation's getting declined, and then I don't have to worry about going in and declining things. Google will automatically decline anything that happens during this time frame because I've already said that I'm going to be out of the office and unavailable to do things. So that's one good thing that's very handy. Tasks can be nice. I don't really use a lot of tasks on here. I probably should rather than creating events, but I tend to create events for when I'm trying to do things. But tasks sort of have the same function. The last thing, and the thing that I know school-based staff likes the most, is this appointment slots. And the way to think about this is appointment slots is basically Sign Up Genius that you don't have to transfer into a calendar because it's already there. So let me show you what I mean. So if I click appointment slots and I say that this is, so let's pretend I'm the teacher librarian at a school and we're going to have the book fair, and I want to let teachers sign up for half-hour slots where their class can come down and preview what's available during the book fair. So I'll say it's from 7 a.m. till 3:30. My duration is going to be 30 minutes because I want kids to have 30 minutes. And realistically, if they're smart, I would do 35 minutes to allow for some transition time. It's going to show up on my calendar. This is something to consider. If you have a media center calendar, and you can definitely create one, or if you have another calendar at your school, you could click into here and pick any calendar you want. So as long as you have access to the calendar, you can set this event on that calendar. And I was actually speaking with some teacher librarians about this, and some of them were interested in doing this just for daily booking of computer labs and media centers and all sorts of other things. So there's a lot of different functions and a lot of different uses that you can use this for. So once I've set up the parameters of what I want this appointment slot thing to look like, I'm going to click Save. And you'll see when I click back on it, it tells me all the things that I did about it, but also I can go to this appointment page. Here is my appointment page. So this is the website, and this is the website that I would send to my school staff, the people that I want to sign up for appointments. I would send this to my school staff so that they can sign up for appointments. And I can grab this link, so I could click copy, and then I could send it an email or make a short URL or do lots of things with it, but I could get it to people in lots of different ways. So when they come in here as a teacher, they can say, okay, so I want my class to preview the book fair from 11 to 11:30. What they would do is click here. They can exchange all this out. And I could say, this is my ELA class. And then I would click Save. And you'll notice back on my calendar that this is turned into my name, and nobody else will be able to click it or change it or do anything with it. So then when the teacher librarian is looking on their calendar on this day, they'll be able to just click here and see that it's me. So instead of having to click into anything or go to a different tool or go to Sign Up Genius or something like that, as people sign up for slots, it just puts it right on the calendar for them, which makes it a lot easier. So that can be really helpful, and you can set those links to be public. So if you want to use that for parents to sign up for teacher conferences or for parents to come in to volunteer for something, you could absolutely do that as well. So those are appointment slots, and those can be really handy. So 3 other things that I want to show you. First is right here is where you would search for new people. So if you're looking to check out someone's calendar and see what they're doing, this is where you type in their name and either see their calendar or request their calendar. If you want to create a new calendar, so you would click here and click Create New Calendar, and then add in the details that you want to add to it. The last thing I want to show you is this drop down. So I have my calendar set up a certain way. Other people have theirs set up in a different way. So I like to see the whole week, and I don't like to see weekends. So I keep the weekends checked off. I could show weekends, but it just makes everything else smaller for me, and I don't typically put a lot of stuff on weekends, so I keep those off. There are a lot of different settings, and you can try different views to see which one is most useful to you. That's it for calendar. There are a lot of other tools in here and a lot of other settings that you can use that might make your work easier and function better for you. Explore calendar, and when you've done that, add to the discussion board. Share which calendar tip you connected with most.